Hey y'all, it's Annelies, and welcome to part 2 of my massive review / commentary of the Raycon Everyday E25 wireless earbuds. Breaking this 45-minute long video into 2 smaller parts is what I felt was best, and so if you have not watched part 1 yet, please make sure you go and watch it, because part 2, aside from this little intro here, if you want to skip this by the way, go to this timestamp, picks up exactly where I left off in part 1. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, please go watch it, because that is going to definitely make this video make way more sense, because I cut this video literally perfectly in half, because it's kind of designed in this like chapter style, and part 1 is where I lay out how this review is going to go. I talk about the claims made in a Raycon ad read, and I go over the first 4 of the 6 total chapters of this review, which was style and design, battery life, sound quality, and price. And then in this video, which is part 2 of this review, I'm going to be picking up exactly from where part 1 left off, starting off with like chapter or section, whatever you want to call it, number 5, which is quality and comfort, and then moving on to chapter 6, which is my personal favorite, the I'm not like other girls catch-all category, and then of course wrapping up this massive review / commentary with my final thoughts, giving you my score out of 5, as well as telling you if I think these headphones are worth your money. So if you haven't seen part 1 yet, please go watch that first. It will make this one make a lot more sense. And then when you're ready, come back, buckle up, like this video, and subscribe to my channel if you're new. And of course, enjoy part 2 of my review / commentary on the Raycon Everyday E25 wireless earbuds. Number 5, quality and comfort. Okay, quality and comfort. I feel like comfort is a lot more subjective because everybody has different ear sizes, but to give you some context on me, I love my AirPods 2nd generation. I run with them, I work with them, don't have any issues with them, they're comfortable, I can wear them for hours. I had the AirPods Pro when they first came out, and something about the way that the plastic on the headphones is shaped hurt my ears so tremendously, and like when I say hurt, it wasn't uncomfortable, it was pain, that I had to return them. And I couldn't even sleep on my side on my ears. It was that painful and tender. Now, when it comes to the Everyday E25's, I find them generally pretty comfortable. I am also a fan of an in-ear headphone with a silicone tip, so that is one thing that I really like about these headphones. Along with the silicone tip, that is something that I feel like gives you that noise cancellation, because it kind of gives you a little bit of a seal in your ear, and to me that is always a plus. I have no issue with them when I'm walking, talking, listening to music, working, whatever. However, my issue with the comfort level of these headphones did come when I was running. I took them on a run because I wanted to test out how they were with running, and during the run, no complaints. They weren't falling out of my ears, they weren't uncomfortable, everything was going swimmingly. And then my run ended, and it was almost like instantaneously, my ears were like rejecting these headphones. I don't know how else to explain it. You know when you like get really hot or you're running or whatever, and then your fingers start to swell up and maybe you can't take off your rings or something like that? It felt very similar, but like to my ears. And I'm not saying my ears were literally swelling, but that's what it felt like, and I had to rip these headphones out of my ears. It was almost instant. And then I tried putting in my AirPods for my walk home, and I couldn't even do that because my ears were so sore. It felt very similar to the feeling I had with the AirPods Pro. So I don't know if it has to do with the shape of these headphones. I don't know what it is, but that was just my experience, so take that as you will. So running with them, totally happy, good sound, weren't falling out, very comfortable. Second I stopped running, oh good golly, get these things out of my ears. Okay, now quality, and I'm more so referring to build quality here, and I have to go back to that review I mentioned earlier. Acceptable, but not exemplary. Acceptable, but not remarkable. They don't feel cheap. They don't feel like something I could like squeeze and break in my hands into a million pieces. I'm also not that strong, but they don't feel cheap in my hand. The case, different story, feels like crap. But like this does not feel like the same quality as the case, so that's good. Right? Because the most important thing is the thing going in your ear, giving you the sound, and you want that to have good quality. In my ears, they feel solid. It's not like I feel like I have a cheap piece of plastic sitting in my ear. I think they're good. These headphones are not premium, like I already explained, but I think they're nice. They're not like random headphone on Amazon quality, but they're decent. The case definitely does not match the quality of the earbuds, but those little beans, they feel solid. So for quality and comfort combined, I will give the E25's a 3.5 out of 5. The feel is fine. However, I would have to say that the general person would probably enjoy this headphone experience. The rating is mainly just on my personal experience, as is this whole review. It's all my personal thoughts and opinions, in case you didn't know. Number 6, the not like other girls claims. Now, you might be asking yourself, what the heck does this mean? But to me, Raycons give off very big, I'm not like other girls energy. If you're not familiar with the phenomena, I definitely recommend watching Tiffany Ferg's video called I'm Not Like Other Girls, or Casey Ayanzo's video on the same subject, because they explain it pretty well. But pretty much to explain the like I'm not like other girls vibe I am getting so strongly from Raycons is that they are so desperate to be different. Raycon are tryhards. Is tryhards? Right? Raycons are tryhards. Raycon is so desperate to be different that they bring up things that don't make them unique or aren't real selling points. I mean, the fact that they boast that their headphones come in different colors, but then also they're just straight up lying about the patterns thing. Raycons don't come in patterns. What? Help me understand. That one threw me so hard. It really did. I'm not proud of how confused I was by going, what pattern Raycons? Am I missing something? Are they camouflage? Is the pattern camouflage and that's why I'm not seeing them? Because make it make sense. Make it make sense, Raycon. Help me understand. They have tremendous sound. I mean, I don't even think I've heard Apple claim that AirPods have tremendous sound, and we know they love trying to convince everybody that they invented the wheel. So like, wow. They claim that they are co-founded by musicians, plural, but the name Raycon comes from Ray J, the co-founder of Raycon, and the only musician that I have seen tie their name to this project or company that is not being paid to speak about Raycon headphones. The other co-founder / partner of Raycon was a company called Cowboy Wholesale, based out of New York, that doesn't even work with Raycon anymore, so there's that. You know, there is a surprising lack of information about Raycon online that doesn't come from Ray J directly or from people who are being paid by Raycon to speak about Raycon. So I don't know where this whole like musicians plural is coming from, but I'll move on from that. But there's a lot of other like weird things about Raycon that's kind of divulging from the I'm not like other girls thing, but it red flags. There's a lot of red flags, as there are with the I'm not like other girls people. So like, maybe that's the connection I'm trying to draw. I don't know, but this is just the catch-all category. I think the other thing that is really off-putting with the Raycon ad reads is that they are so aggressively, obviously, an ad read. You have other companies that work with creators on YouTube that of course have their phrases and their taglines and their little bullet points that they want the creators to hit, pinpoint, you need to say it this way in the copy for the ad read, but for the most part, they feel very comfortable. And the creator or the person who's trying to sell this product to their audience is using their own vernacular and they're speaking from personal experience, but a Raycon ad read feels like they're reading from a teleprompter. It's such a different experience because it's almost like Raycon is afraid to give the people who they sponsor free agency in how they speak about the headphones because they might accidentally let it slip that they're not as amazing as they are making them out to be. Once again, tinfoil hat theory over here, I know, but like, it's just, there's something different between a Function of Beauty and a NordVPN ad read and a Raycon ad read. I really hope people understand what I'm trying to say with this whole like, not like other girls thing, but it's off-putting. And it's something that was off-putting to me when I first saw an ad read for Raycons. And the reason why I wanted to get a pair was not because my favorite creators made it seem really intriguing, and it's not their fault, it's the way that Raycon goes about things. Because yeah, there's been other things like Function of Beauty or HelloFresh that sound interesting and sound worth my money, but then when I saw Raycon, I just kind of thought, I need to try these out to see if they're the trash that I think they are. I wanted to see if they were actually as bad as I thought, versus trying something that I thought might be good. That's the difference about Raycons. This point obviously doesn't get a rating. This is more so me expressing all of the weird feelings I have about Raycon and just trying to share that with people and see if anybody feels the same way, because there's just something that is off. But there's just a lot of unknown stuff here. It adds another layer of suspicion and weird vibes on top of it all. Now, speaking of returning these headphones, that's the last thing that I need to do. And as you can tell, I still have them here in front of me. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw to future Annelies, where she is going to explain how this whole return process went. And I do want to note right now, when I was getting ready to film this video, I wanted to make sure I had enough time to film it before I had to return it. Cause you know, 45 days, wanted to be able to test them out properly, yada yada, whatever. I went on the website to kind of like start the return to see how much time I had left. And it said that my return window was good until 2022. So like 320 days more than the advertised return window. So I don't know what that was all about, but hopefully future Annelies can give us some insight about that, as well as telling us, I'll figure it out later too. I'll be future Annelies one day, about how easy and seamless this return process was, and if it was all that it's cracked up to be. Thanks, past Annelies. Now, unfortunately, I have some bad news for y'all. I unfortunately got what we call in the industry bamboozled. Because yes, I still have my Raycons here in front of me. Why, you may ask, when I tried to return them? Well, let me explain to you how I got bamboozled by Raycon, so that way hopefully it doesn't happen to you in the future, and maybe this will kind of influence your decision on if you actually want to try out Raycon headphones or not, because this was kind of frustrating. So as past Annelies just mentioned in the video, when I went to kind of look and see when my return window went to, it said up to February 22nd, 2022 was when my device was eligible for return. So I kind of took that as my device was eligible for return until 2022 and didn't understand that there was a caveat attached to that. Now, when you go through the return process, it's kind of like when you return anything online, it asks like, why are you returning it? Is there anything wrong with it? The basics. As I was even going through the return process, Raycon even said, hey, well, maybe instead of returning them, you want to exchange them for another pair of headphones. So as an added incentive, we'll give you that $11.99 you saved with your 15% discount. Like, we'll give that to you as store credit. So that way you don't just return them and get your money back, you put it towards another pair of headphones. And I said, no, thank you. I don't want another pair of Raycon headphones because I'm trying to get rid of these ones, but like, let's keep going. So make it to the end of the return pages, and then you're met with two little rectangles of options. One that says return for store credit and just kind of, I guess, goes on your account or a gift card or something. Another one at the bottom that says return to your original form of payment. Except unfortunately for me, that option was completely grayed out. So I was stuck with the only option of returning for store credit. And that is why I still have these headphones in front of me. Now, the reason why I would say I was bamboozled, and I was bamboozled to fault of my own, is that yes, Raycon does advertise a free 45-day return policy money back guarantee type of nonsense. However, when I went to the website to check when that 45 days was for me, because I know some companies go, it's based off of the day you ordered the product. Some companies say it's based off of when it was delivered. So I was trying to get some information on when my window ended. And then I see something that says I can return my headphones until February of 2022. And that's all that page said. No caveats, no disclaimers, no, well, if you return it up until 2022, you only get store credit, like nothing like that. So I kind of took the website's word over the previous advertisements, and that was my fault. However, I feel like, now this is for legal reasons, just my conspiracy theory, just my, theory in my head and how I feel. Not saying that they are intentionally doing this. However, I personally feel that it is intentionally misleading, because a simple clarification of saying, well, until April 20th, 2021, you can return for full money back, and then February 22nd of 2022, you can return to get store credit or exchange for another pair. Like, that simple clarification could save people a lot of time and a lot of frustration and heartache. So, considering how I already had a not so great taste in my mouth about Raycon, this little hiccup kind of didn't make it any better, because like I said, I feel like it is a very simple fix. This literally happened to me yesterday. I was in a store, walking past the cashier to walk into the store, and I overheard the cashier saying to a customer, yeah, you can return it up to 30 days and get your money back, or if you do after 30 days, you just get store credit, but you can return it whenever. And that simple clarification saved that customer some heartache. And customers could have realized that with their Raycons, like me. I could have realized that and then got on returning them a lot faster. So So now here I sit with a pair of Raycon headphones to kind of tell you this, so that way maybe you might take that into account when it comes to purchasing a pair of Raycon headphones and deciding if you want to try them or not. Because I personally found that experience to be really frustrating. And all I'll say now is now I have a pair of $70 headphones that I kind of can't get rid of. So please watch all the ads on this video to help me make the money back on these freaking headphones. Yeah, so unfortunately I still have them. Poor past Annelies, she had no clue. She had no clue that this was gonna happen. Well anyway, back to past Annelies. Thanks, future Annelies. So I've gone through all of my points and the average score comes out to a 3.6 out of 5. A 72%, a C grade, and I feel like that's pretty appropriate. Now that's my score, but the ultimate question is, would I recommend these earbuds? I honestly can't say I would. I would recommend you my Beats Flex before I recommend the Raycon Everyday E25's. I believe the Beats Flex are good quality, they are consistent, and they are affordable. When it comes to the E25's, I don't think they're consistent. I don't think that the quality is there that aligns with the price, and I personally feel that you can probably find something that is closer to this truly wireless style for cheaper at a comparable quality. I have tried one of the Anker Soundcore earbuds before, and from what I can recall, the sound was comparable to these headphones, and those come in at anywhere from $20 to $30 cheaper than the E25's. Even though I don't really have much to speak on those headphones, I would probably recommend somebody trying those first, then spending their 70-ish bucks on these headphones. I would honestly say save up for the Samsung Galaxy Buds or the AirPods or the Pixel Buds instead of spending that money now on these. If there was somebody out there who really wanted to know how these headphones were and they were like dying to get their hands on them, all I could say is that they're acceptable, but not exemplary. Thank you so much for sticking around for this massive, in-depth Raycon review. And I don't think I've ever done a review on a tech product this intensive, because I felt like there was a lot more to the Raycons than just their sound quality. There's so many layers to this, and especially with, like I mentioned, how well they're known in the YouTube community, I wanted to uncover, are people just being paid to say this, or are they actually good? And I think my conclusion is that people need to pay their bills. And if somebody comes along and says, hey, I have a pair of mediocre headphones for you that I'm gonna pay you a good chunk of change to talk about to your millions of followers, or even your thousands of followers, will you do it? I understand why they say yes. I guess to settle your hearts, I would personally believe, especially from the creators that I watch, that I think they believe that they're decent headphones. They don't think they're tremendous or amazing, and this is just my assumptions and inferences based on the ad reads and what I know about these creators through their videos, but they're not horrible, but they're not tremendous like they're claimed. So yeah, I think there is a lot of fluff in the script to just make them sound appealing, but they're not trash, and I guess that is good. They're not trash, yay! So folks, that is it. Thank you so much for sticking around for this massive, crazy, in-depth review on the Raycon headphones. Of course, I wanted to review them because, you know, I make all this tech stuff on my channel, but there were so many more layers to these headphones besides just, are they good headphones? It was all the other stuff that comes wrapped in that little ad read that you hear in your favorite creators' videos. But I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you really liked this video, let me know by giving it a thumbs up. That tells me and the YouTube algorithm that you like me in videos like this. And of course, if you loved it, subscribe to my channel. Help me get to 3,000 subscribers before my birthday. It's coming up, folks. We're super close. So subscribe to the channel if you're new. And of course, if you want to support videos like this in the future that involve me purchasing things to try them out so that way you don't have to spend your hard-earned money, consider joining my Patreon. I have a Patreon, patreon.com/Annelies, where you can help financially support me and this channel and all of the videos that I do, like buying a $67/$80 pair of headphones and testing them out for like 2 months and seeing if they're actually worth the money, which are they? I guess that's for you to decide, but yeah, I'm still really indifferent about these, but I am returning them. I'm 100% returning them. So I guess that says everything right there. Otherwise, that is it for me. Thanks for hanging out with me. Stay beautiful, have a marvelous day, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye!